don't bother with elections or politicians. That includes the Libertarian Party. Why? Because elections are pointless, okay? You're waiting like a whole, 4 years for a new president to rule over you, and 2 years for new Congress people, or congressmen or women to rule over you. And Supreme Court justices, you don't even get to pick them. And, okay, look, there's lots of problems with just voting politically, period, okay? You're waiting for people to roll over you. It's hoping to get the good politicians, as opposed to the bad ones, to represent you. Yeah, I know a lot of these air quotes, but the context in which these terms are used is dubious, so bear with me here. I'm legitimate in adding these air quotes. So anyways, you're waiting, you're having a guy represent your freedom, which isn't really legitimate, doesn't really make sense. A person represents your freedom rather than just you existing representing your freedom, or you existing represent. Okay, that doesn't make sense. You're having to hope that they win, and if they don't, oh well, better luck next time. See, with elections, for elections, in addition to allowing the good politician to win, you need to allow the bad politician to win too. It's only fair, right? This is how elections work. They work by allowing everyone a chance to compete for votes. That means the bad guys in addition to the good guys. Meaning, you have to give the nasty Republicans and the nasty Democrats a chance to win too. You can't just make it so, only the Libertarian Party is available to vote for. No, you have to make it so, so are those Republicans and Democrats. You can vote for them too. Yikes. There's always the potential that they'll win instead of the Libertarian Party. That's not good. My freedom shouldn't hang in the balance between a third party and the two major parties. I should just be free. Elections don't allow you to do that. Politicians don't allow you to do that. The Libertarian Party doesn't allow you to do that. Government doesn't allow you to do that, period. So people shouldn't really be bothering over, oh man, this Libertarian Party is just so legit and cool, man. They only want, taxes to pay for EMS and military and courts, and they want to be able to let you do drugs and own whatever gun you want and have prostitution and all that jazz. They just want to let people have that and we can be free. Well, that's not really how it works. If you're voting for them to allow you to have stuff, then you're not really just having this stuff. You're depending on politicians to set the rules the way you want them to be set up rather than just living your NAP applicable life. So that can't work. You can't just vote for, pot or any drug to be legal, or prostitution, or consenting adult prostitution to be legal, or, whatever gun you want, or businesses you want, that don't need to go for all this FDA crap. In other words, you can't just, vote for that. You need to just have that by default on your own without a state. States just get in the way of all that. I mean, and isn't voting inconvenient as hell? Waiting 2 to 4 years to choose to hopefully choose the rulers, hopefully get the rulers that represent your freedom, only for them to either not get elected at all, or for them to get elected but not really deliver anyways, or even they get elected this time but they fail next time. I mean, that's just inconvenient. If it's not a guarantee you get these politicians, it's not a guarantee you'll get your freedom then. If they even really support freedom, which in a way is impossible since, we can't have politicians represent freedom, they're politicians. And even if you put that paradox/contradiction aside, will libertarian candidates really deliver on libertarianism? I mean, I heard Gary Johnson believing in some gun control, and Joe Jorgensen wasn't so keen on some other issues, and God, who knows who the candidate for this, 2024 is for the Libertarian Party. I can look it up real quick. According to this, let's see, Libertarian candidate 2024 president. Okay, let's see. I know I'm not showing it right now, but I'm kind of lazy and don't want to video capture, so I just film. Kind of too much trouble just to do such a small thing. according to this, the Libertarian Party doesn't have anyone for sure, but they have publicly expressed interest. They have publicly expressed interest individuals, like Justin Amash wants to run for president, and Dave Smith wants to run for president. Justin Amash is a United States representative from Michigan's 3rd Congressional District. Oh, hold on, let me click his name instead of that title. He's a libertarian as of 2020. Damn, maybe I should have captured. Anyways, Dave Smith's a New York-based stand-up comedian, libertarian, political commentator. Okay, well, obviously, since I'm an Ancap, I don't want anyone in power, including these two guys. So, yeah. So, okay, we already established elections are inconvenient. Elections are inconvenient. They're not guarantees for freedom. They're a paradox, number 3, and they're subject to fail. I mean, you have all these elections that have led up to all these unjust politics throughout history. The Libertarian Party doesn't really have a chance of being any different. I mean, they'll eventually just grow into big government, or society will revert to the two-party system. I mean, people once saw the benefits of minimal government before in the colonial days or the early United States days, other than like slavery and Native Americans and minorities and women being treated equally. Other than that, it was pretty minarchist because you didn't have like the FDA and the FBI and the ATF and DEA and truancy laws and all that shit. People realized the benefit of that, and then look what it grew to today. Big, severe, or at least moderate government. I guarantee you the same thing will happen to the Libertarian Party. Even if it's more minarchist or libertarian than early colonial days, since it's still subject to monopoly and force and arbitration, as well as giving the bad guys a chance to get into power, it's subject to the same flaws of government than any other government has. So you shouldn't have that either. Hope I'm not repeating myself. How do I say this? People think, Ancaps tend to think if you're not voting, you're ignoring the situation. That voting's the only way to do anything about this big, bloated, massive state. But that's not true. And that's not how you're even supposed to. There are other ways to get proactive, and voting isn't even, or politics period isn't even how you're supposed to get proactive, period. I mean, there's like what? Civil disobedience, counter-economics, tax evasion, influencing, which is what I'm doing right now with my Ancap videos. There's just abstaining from government. Like, hey, I mean, if people don't vote anymore, they don't run the polling stations, then that's the government, then that gets rid of a lot of government power altogether, because now nobody will even run the polling stations. No one even utilize the polling stations. So those are 5 ways to get rid of government. Heck, you could even maybe consider 6 to be the press. Or maybe that can be part of number 5 for influencing, because Ancap press or any press can influence people. But, just filming what the government's doing that's wrong, as in filming what the government's doing that is wrong, not that it's wrong to film the government. Of course not. Of course it's not wrong. Is a way to, get people to stop believing in the system, get people to stop taking the blue pill, get people to start taking the red pill. Just cover all the shit the government's doing, because a lot of people don't really know or don't really have an idea of how bad the government is or what it's really doing. They have this, idea in their head that, it's really good, it's really effective, it's really efficient, it's necessary, and that's not the case at all. It's not really good, it's not really good, it's not really effective, it's not really efficient, and it's not really necessary either. So people need to realize that, and the best way to make them realize that, or at least, give them a chance, really, but the best opportunity to provide people to realize that is, just cover the shit the government's doing, like cover an abusive cop, or cover an abusive politician, well, they're all abusive, but you know what I mean. Cover the results of the policies, like eminent domain. There was some coverage of what this town did to this woman's pink house. It's called, Little Pink House, the documentary, or at least the topic as a whole, in general, where this company, this real estate developer, whatever, they wanted this land where this woman's house stood. And so they used eminent domain, which is run by the government, to take it away. And they did. They took away the land, they took away the house, and heck, they even destroyed the house. And they changed their mind and decided not to even build the damn fucking property, or her property, once stood. So basically, they destroyed someone's house. They attacked someone, basically. Not just, oh yeah, eminent domain, okay, we get the government's approval and green light and mandation that we take your property. It's not even just that. It gets worse. They flat out destroy the property since they decided to not even use the land to build their damn thing in the first place. Well, why the fuck did you asswipes take it away in the first place? I mean, come on. So, just covering stuff like that can get people to wake up at least a little. Well, I guess if anything at all. But if anything at all, at least a little to realize, hey, this thing ain't really helping us out. I think we better do something else instead of stay. So, that's why I say not to bother with elections. They're pointless. They're dysfunctional by design. They're not really going to work. That's not really the way to do things anyway. The way to do things is, like the 6 methods I listed. You abstain from government, you civil disobeying government, you do tax evasion, which I guess can be considered civil disobedience, but what the heck we'll consider it. You can do counter economics, you can influence people, and heck, you can even do the press. And plus, there's probably even more methods to get rid of the state than just going up to some stupid machine and pressing, the button near someone's name that has a D by it, or an R by it, or an L by it, representing the letter that the political party name stands for. There's better stuff you can do instead of that. So do that instead of voting. I assure you, it's a lot better than just keeping the system rolling, which even the Libertarian Party is doing.